Hey everyone, it is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a podcast with Stephany Hill. I cannot wait for this. She's been a buddy of mine for I think about 10 years now, give or take. Uh, in the last couple of years, she has gotten into real estate, really getting into. She's a real estate agent. She's has a wealth of knowledge as far as in the Long Island area. I'm not sure about the city, but definitely in the Long Island area, where a bunch of my friends have been looking. She's very, very good at what she does, and we are going to debate a little bit about what the best investments are for the future. Obviously, she's going to be heavy into real estate. I'm going to be heavy into crypto. Even though crypto is way down right now, you typically don't see properties lose 80, 90%, but there's not as much growth in real estate as either. So anyway, I can't wait to go through that. Between that, her stories, we'll get into it right now. Let's see
How
here.
are you, Randy?
Hey, is that what's going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you? It's been a while.
No, yeah, it's been quite a while. I just did an intro for everyone. Shout out to Lucas for the super chat, the super sticker.
How are
The
you?
I'm doing all right. I'm just hanging out, doing my thing. We've had a so I haven't gotten into real estate yet. And that's something you got into how many years ago? You started getting your license?
Yeah, about 3.5 almost. Yes.
Okay, so you're in your 20s. You were what, like 27?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No, I was almost 30. Yeah, I'm
Wait.
32 now. Yeah, so like
Oh
29.
wait, really? You're 32
Yeah.
now? You're old. No, I'm joking. There was so I think we met in like 2014 or 2012.
A while ago.
It
Yeah.
was yeah. Or we were both young. I don't know if it was before or after I was in the military, but yeah, we were
I
both
think it
young.
was after. I think it
Okay.
was after.
So it was probably during then. It was like while
Yes.
I was in, it's good to come back. The so I guess we'll start from the beginning when we met, as you were in working in various clubs as a bartender,
Yeah.
and tell us some stories about that, how you got into it, and why you still do that every now and then for some extra money.
The money's good, it's cash on hand, so there's nothing like that, of course. But I was, yeah, I think I started about 8 years ago, and that's when I had met you. I worked at a club, and just talking with people is the best thing, and that's why it's put me to real estate. Is that working at the bar has opened doors to other people that I meet at the bar, like, hey, you're looking to sell and buy, and they're like, yeah, my grandmother just passed away, and we're looking to sell our house, and that's a lot where I get my clientele was when I first started real estate. So I kept with the bar until I made the change.
Oh, so that's a good way to be clients.
Yes, yes.
I have seen, especially older people. I've seen them give many gifts to some of the workers at the bar.
Oh
What was
yeah.
the what was the craziest gift you've seen given?
I had seen an older gentleman propose to someone that worked there. Yes.
Did you say yes?
Huh?
Did she
Yeah,
say
she
yes?
said yes. I don't think I followed up with it, but I don't know how far it went, if they're still together today, but yeah.
Oh, that would have been. I mean, that must have been. I I don't know if I could do that. That's like Anna Nicole Smith territory, where they. I mean, he must have had like a lot of money. Like, I don't know if there's people like me that date 18 years older, typically.
Yeah, kinda.
So when you're there, when you first started working, was there any culture shock into that scene where there's like, oh wow, these people are a different breed than I've ever been used to before? Or did you frequent clubs recently and be like, oh, all right, I'm used to this?
No, it was definitely a culture shock. I was a manager at Dunkin' Donuts, so that was definitely a big change from coming from making coffee to making drinks. So yeah, it was definitely a very big change for me. But you kind of adjust, and you had
I've
the drinks. They're pretty good, right?
Yeah, no, they were great. Kept coming back. It was a good time.
Yeah.
There was especially like with a bunch of friends there. I don't know. I feel like a lot of, and I tell my subscribers a lot that there's a lot of what people I think really want most in the world is just have a couple drinks with friends and listen to good music
Uh
and
huh.
every now and then watch some people dance.
Yeah.
And there is a when did you ever drink while you were working? Did people ever like, hey, I want to buy you a shot, I want to buy this, X amount of that?
Yeah, here and there I did, definitely.
So working while intoxicated, how was that? Was that fun? Was that like, oh man, what did I do? I'm too drunk for this.
Yeah, you've had those. I've had those nights where you're like, all right, I got to slow it down immediately because I do have to drive, because it is at the end of the day a job to me. So people are coming in to have fun and they're like, yeah, let me get you a drink. I'm like, okay. And then you don't realize, especially with me being a lightweight, it's like, oh, all right, I'm two in. And I'm like, so
I
yes.
I remember this. I forget what year it was. I remember this one guy who was. I think he wanted to be like his wingman or whatever because I was just chilling, and he's like, "Oh, like you want a drink?" And I was like, "Okay," and that turned into a few, and then I remember it was like, "Steph, he wants to have me another shot. Can you make it a shot of water, please?" How many times did you
Yeah.
have to do that? Did you have to babysit, be like, "Oh, I need to cut you off," or "I'm going to give this person water," and they're not even going to notice?
Yeah, and guys get very upset. Like, who are you to cut me off? I can go to the next place and get a drink. So, as a bartender, you have to cut them at a certain level.
Uh,
Before either one, they're going to vomit on you, or they're going to leave and they can't physically walk. So, yeah, it's hard to see if like that last one is going to put them over the top or not. So, it
any
is.
of the Any of the people that used to work there or dance there, any of them like throw up on stage, or any of them go and just have some accidents up on stage? Like, okay, you're too drunk for this. You need to go home.
No, I've had a guy throw up on me once though. Awkward, but yeah, where I had to go home because I was so freaked out, all over me, like
No.
the whole 9 yards. Yeah, he went to have a fireball. His friend was like, "Yeah, let's have a fireball." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty good," And at the time, it was a hot hit. Fireball. It was like new to the
Yeah.
market. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, fireball!" Yeah, he did not take well to it.
Uh, I remember. I love that meme where someone is just like, "Oh, this smells like Fireball." Like most people call that cinnamon, Stephanie. Oh,
That's
so when you got into real estate, it was was that because of foresight and you're like, well, I can't be doing this like club scene forever, or was it like, hey, I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money with this and I can do this as
it
well?
was kind of like I was ready for a big change. I had just had my son. So my son, I think it was about 6 months, and I was ready to like venture off, start steering away from the club life, and really also communicate with customers. Like everybody's like, oh, real estate, and I really love homes in general. I do. I think it's awesome, and I loved interior design at the time, and I think it was like my best. I put my right foot forward, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to school. I found a class, and in Hop and I just did it. And honestly, I fell more in love with it once I really because it takes a while to learn the real estate world. You see a lot of these agents coming about, newer agents, and then it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, because it's a lot. It's not just like you go to school and you figure it out. No, you go to school and you have to continue with your education and like really educate yourself about the market, what's going on, because it makes a difference in the agent that you are.
What's the learning curve for that? How long after you started working did you finally feel like, hey, I kind of know what I'm doing? Was it a few months? Was it like a year? Still
It
learning?
definitely, yeah, it's definitely your first year of like learning and how it goes about. Because it's not just like, oh, I get my real estate license and I get a check for $30,000. No, it doesn't. It's definitely a hustle, and you have to show people, especially family members, your friends, everybody that does support you, that they could trust you. That's their biggest asset that you're putting on the market to sell. And if it doesn't sell, that's money that they're losing. And they're taking care of the mortgage while you're selling their home. So it's definitely like you have to prove yourself when you become a real estate agent. Everybody thinks the money's so easy, and it's really not. And after you get into real estate, of course, you see like, wow, I don't think that person would really trust me with their biggest asset, and it's a disappointment. And I won't lie, I've had my own disappointments. Like, oh wow, they went with another agent, but you have to understand it. Like you have to understand it's their biggest asset that you're taking control of to sell for them.
Is there any times where you'll refuse clients or people say like, I want to sell it for this, and you have to tell them, I can't sell it for that. Like, I'm not going to show this house to people and then tell them you're asking for like 50% above what the normal market's going. Obviously now it's a little bit easier because there's a limited supply, but when you first started, did you ever have to be like, I can't do it?
Yeah, or like we go through or like, okay, if it doesn't sell for this price, we're gonna have to reduce it to the normal market and what's going on around you. You know, I don't necessarily say I would say no, I don't want that client because I always want to make everybody happy. But I've had a few where it was like, oh, it turned out like crazy. But at the end of the day, the house has sold. I haven't had any deals die, which is knock on wood, Randy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you started, so I see at Century 21.
Yes.
What neighborhoods did you start in?
I started, of course, my hometown, Bayshore, and I ventured off because my office is in Lindenhurst. So I did in Lindenhurst. We're very well known, so we're like one of the top real estate groups over there. So everybody really knows you if you're from Century 21, AA, and definitely we support all the local businesses over there. So that was like my first prospecting was like over there, meeting the community, doing extra in Lindenhurst. That was where I really focused on.
Do you have any chance that you could go independent in the future, or do people have to have? No, I work for Remax. No, you need to work for Century 21 because you can't work without them.
Necessarily, no, because I love where I am, and you're taking on the overhead. You're taking on getting the building. You have to pay people, and it's like it can't be a one-man job. So I like the independence, and I like working for the broker that I'm with. So I enjoy it there.
So, is the dream? Someone says, "Is she living the American dream?" Is the dream to be like, okay, now I'm going to start looking at selling houses over in I don't know what's like Dix Hills or a rich place out in like Riverhead or wherever. Is that like the end goal for a lot of real estate agents to sell those like multi-million-dollar homes?
Yes and no. If you go with a multi-million-dollar agent as if like how the public sees it, it's a harder sale. It's not like 1, 2, 3, I sell this house, and that's what people don't seem to understand. Like every sale, of course, is very important and it's a lot of work, but to take on something that's very much higher, it's more work that you're doing, of course. So yeah, of course, I would love to be doing higher end, but I am okay with, where I am.
So you said before that you like to please people or people pleaser. When you're in sales, you have to a lot of times wear a lot of different hats. Do you ever go kind of like above and beyond and say like, oh, this person's from the South, so now I need to start with the Southern twang and like start quoting the Bible, and oh, this person is like super like liberal Democrat, so you like have to put a bumper sticker on your car that says "Not my president." Like, how far do you go to get the sale?
Yeah, I definitely have to say that, especially if you're like dealing with clients that are going through a divorce, you have to be mutual between everybody. So definitely you do wear a lot of different hats. I feel like sometimes I'm more of a therapist than a real estate agent, but definitely you definitely being a people person,
So not too dissimilar from, I guess, tending bar, where you do have to be a therapist for a lot of your patrons that are coming in. By the way, what are some wild stories from patrons from back then? Like be like, oh man, I just shot a man and I'm about to go to jail.
I've had some crazy ones. I've had someone say that they're Travis Barker, and he did look like him, but definitely knew he wasn't. I've had some real crazy ones come into the bar. I can't even lie.
Yes. Any celebrities?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay. I'll when I get big enough, I'll come to the bar and I'll be like, yeah, first celebrity.
Yes, definitely do that. Or anybody on here, come on down.
We'll do a crazy after party on one of our as our crypto goes up. That's another thing I want to talk to you about. So obviously you being very, very pro real estate, long term, especially because that's what most people do. But you know, right now there is a very limited supply and there's a lot of demand. So real estate has really taken off, plus interest rates are higher. What are some of the good reasons to buy right now when we're kind of at the top?
Well, it depends on when you're ready, really. That's how I talk to my clients. Like, if you're ready to do this now, we can make it happen. You know, every house that comes on the market, every buyer has the equal and just amount opportunity for that house. Like, everybody's like, oh, these real estate agents keep it off the market. Well, they're not supposed to, and they pass it along to the next buyer that they're buyers. They're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be fair to everybody. Everybody has the equal right and the fairness to that home. So I feel like when you're coming up forward and you're like, I'm ready to buy, it's a choice. You put your right foot forward and you help them. I don't ever feel like as an agent that I have to persuade anybody to do that, as a salesperson. Like, when you're ready to buy, because it's such a big investment in your life. When you're, how you just said, Brandy, like, I'm not in the place right now or whatever. When you are, like, I know as me, myself, like, I would love to buy 5 different properties, but I just know realistically right now, I'm not going to do that. And I talk to my buyers just as if it was me, and I see where they're at, where their head's at when they're ready and how they are.
So you said you're not supposed to keep stuff off the market, but some people do. Like they won't advertise.
Not, yeah, you
Like,
have
how do you
lots
do
of
that without
agents
the
that will do
buyers
that.
getting? Yeah, how do you do that
They'll
without the sellers getting like pissed? Like, hey, I don't see my stuff in the paper, you know?
Yeah, well, it depends on when you list it and you sign contract with that seller. So yeah, definitely, buyers, agents out there will do, in every job, they'll try to take shortcuts, and you're not supposed to do that. And, I was taught from the broker that I'm with that you don't do that. And yeah.
So do you see others doing that maybe don't work for your company that are at like Remax or another real estate agency?
Yeah, you definitely see, in any job you see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
People try to take shortcuts.
Shots fired. Henry Pay says home sales are starting to slow down compared to last year. With a recession imminent, would you say the best time to buy would be in a couple of years, despite growing interest rates? I think you kind of touched on that already.
I say now. Now is the best time to buy because you have less buyers. You have a demand of a lot of buyers, yes, but you have more serious buyers now. And with interest rates going up, they're still historically low than many years before, So before they do go up again, and who knows what the next few years are going to be like, I can't sit here and tell you, yes, in a few years, it's the perfect time to buy. Because who am I to say that? Nobody knows, what tomorrow. Look what happened with COVID. Nobody knew that was going to happen. And that's when real estate really took off for everybody, and everybody was talking about real estate then. So I definitely say right now is the time to buy, before they go up again, interest rates, of course.
You said real estate took off like in like 2020 during the pandemic. I would expect, like, I don't know, I don't really study it, but I would expect that it would have slowed down because nobody wanted to go out, nobody wanted to do the house showings. How did it expand, or why? Why did it
Well,
go
interest
crazy?
rates were the lowest that they ever been during COVID, which was
Oh,
unbelievable. I sold a home through FaceTime with COVID because we couldn't show houses. So I
that's
had to go to
amazing.
the house with the FaceTime because the government was shut down. It was crazy. I have to say I've done, I think, more deals during COVID than I have now, which is amazing. But like, yeah, I had another buyer that I gave them a tour of the home and they put in above asking price through FaceTime.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh my God, that's insane. That's so. Is there any jealousy from like the older people that have been here for a while and be like, oh, well, when I started, it wasn't that easy. You kids have it easy, or are
Of
they just happy
course.
for you? Oh, there is.
Yes, of course. And you know what I also get? Because, I make my videos on Instagram, which everybody's willing, if you guys want to follow me, I make those videos. And a lot of what I get all the time with agents is like, wow, like I used to use the phone book to make calls, I'm more social media like savvy. So, and the older agents are not used to that, because everything's changing in this world.
That makes sense. I'll share the Instagram on the chat real quick,
Okay.
and I'll have people follow you. So you have you do TikTok as well.
Yes.
Uh, so for, let's say, like crypto tends to be a lot easier to do on Twitter than it is for Instagram. TikTok's kind of the medium. Which ones do you feel like get the most traffic, get the most views? Which social media platform for you?
I did go viral on TikTok, but it was during COVID, so not many people knew TikTok as much as they do now.
Yeah.
But it was more personal, so I got 2.9 million views on like a silly video that I did on TikTok.
What was that? What one was that?
It's probably all the way down. You'll see it. I'm with like a float. I didn't know my friends were recording me.
Oh, you didn't pin it?
No, I didn't. Because, I transformed more to real estate, like, with TikTok. And I don't get as many views, but I definitely feel like a lot of my clients come from Instagram. So compared to TikTok,
Gotcha. Okay.
There's a lot more younger people in TikTok. I feel like on TikTok, there's all different types of people, but I feel like I get more views from like younger kids because I went viral because it goes by
the algorithm.
Yes.
Okay, so what date? Do you remember what date or year it was? I'm looking for
Randy. Okay.
Oh wait, I won't link it. I'll link just your normal TikTok.
Yeah.
Unless you don't.
You go all the way down. And you can see it definitely. It's me holding a float and it falls into the water. And I have to go into the water to flip this huge float over my head.
Freaking out.
Do you see it? Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical. I'm gonna all right, so I won't share that one. That was funny, but I'll just share this.
Funny. But you know what? This is my life. So like I tell people when you meet clients and they're like they judge you, it's like this is where I came from. There's nothing, this is who I am. And it's either you have to find the person you want to work with. When I go to buy a car, like if I don't like the salesman, there's 5 other ones willing to help me. You got to connect with a person. And that's, you always have your own connection with like a different client. And, through the buying process, you become really good friends with them. Like, hey, how's it going over there? Well, I've been in the house 3 months and I became best friends with the neighbor. And it's like, it's great to hear. That's what makes me smile is at the end of the day that the home that they purchased and that we went through this whole buying process, like they are happy. Their family's happy. It's just, that's what my goal is in real estate.
Have you gotten any whales yet? Like people that are just like, hey, I'm here from like Zurich and I have like $1 billion and you're going to be my person that's going to help me buy all these places.
Yes, I have. But, people say they have a lot. And then when you go, it's like, oh, I don't have it. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So definitely you have to find out. It's not like, you have to distinguish, especially with the bar life to this life. It's, you don't take everybody's word, and you have to learn. Like I told you, it's a connection, and you build that connection and that trust with that somebody,
Do you have do you ask like when someone's ready to buy, to be like, okay, I need like a year's worth of business bank statements. I need tax returns for 3 years. Like, do you get a lot of that?
When they first come to me, like if you came to me, Randy, I'm ready to buy. The first thing I do is I put you with a mortgage lender. Like I don't look at any of your assets and all that. That's the lender's job. You get then a pre-approval, and then you'll send me your pre-approval, and then we'll have that to move forward. It'll tell me exactly how much you can afford, how much in taxes you can afford, everything that you're capable of buying and the buying power that you have. Then I would look from there. You'll tell me where you want to be, what school district you need, what type of neighborhood you want to live in, what type of style home you need, and then I do my job from there, but the lending is more of that.
I know you don't really, because that's more the lender's job, but could you, if you want, it's like, hey, can I take a look at that just to see, and just take a look at the bank statements, see what they're spending their money on?
No.
Oh, you could.
I don't do it personally.
But could you?
Because the lender and me communicate. So the lender will tell me, like, yes, they have this. No, they don't. And the buyer gives them permission to talk to me. So, we're all on the same team. It's like when you go to buy a home, we're all a team. We work for you. Obviously, we work for commission. So we work for you. And even the lender. Like when I find that home, the lender's getting the mortgage part of it. So like we have to stick as a team and work together. So that's really how it is.
Well, so when I was doing loans, especially big loans, it was weird where a lot of the times where I would get like the big deals wouldn't be from like being professional. Like that's how I get most of my deals. Like, oh, you're really good at this, but sometimes it would just be like, shooting the bull with the client, and because I would see like their bank statements, I would look like, oh, you go to McDonald's like every day. I love McDonald's. Like
Uh-huh.
I would, if I was like a real estate agent, I would totally look through the bank statements and be like, oh, you went to Vegas? Time to bring out my stories from Vegas from 2018, and just
Uh-huh.
that's. I mean, I don't know if that would just drive people away to be like, because okay, you're a little crazy, but that would be like, you look through all my bank statements. Oh yeah, no, it's all good. I pay for this too. It's all good. I get my nails done like a week. Um, is there any? Are there any like reckless rogues out there that just do like crazy, like Phil Dunphy type of stuff from Modern Family, where they go and they do crazy things for
I'm
the
sorry,
sale?
repeat that one more time. You
Sure.
cut out.
There is a show called Modern Family, and there's a
Uh-huh.
guy named Phil Dunphy who's a real estate agent, and all he does is he just works and he sells homes, but he tries to connect with people in really weird ways. Like he'll go out and like cosplay for them. He'll go out and like do these up and over. Like, is there any like reckless people that kind of do these crazy things that make real estate agents look a little weird?
Yeah, I could say I've seen some weird ones, but that will go above and beyond to try to impress like the buyer, the seller. You have to have that connection. My thing is like, after leaving like my appointment and I'm meeting you, you could tell like if you're gonna have a connection with that person. Of course, like I'm not I'm not going home with you at night. I don't know you personally, but like you learn as you go on, because especially with the buying process, it's not like a one-time conversation. I'm talking to them for 3 to 4 months. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm getting to know. I can hear their kids in the background. They can hear mine. Like, it's not just one initial like um, conversation. You know?
Agreed. And when you got Henry Pye saying it may vary by state, but if you own rental properties and are considering adding a family home, does the rent roll count as additional income?
Yes, and with the lending part of it, yes, it does. Like sometimes with buyers, they have programs right now. Some of the lenders, where you would need like an apartment and in the home, so for you to afford this much more, so your rental income will be like going towards your mortgage. So you're going to buy the home, and with certain programs that they actually have, they'll give you money to fix it and make it into an apartment. So which is great to have too. Depending on the lender and depending on what programs they have.
All right, so for the commission side, uh, is it like 3 points that you get? Is it 1 point? Does it depend on the client, or does it depend on like, do you ever cut points? Be like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice some of my commission just to get this done.
It depends on the client, but I don't go lower than two. Most agents don't, just in the market that it is. Um, and most buyers and sellers know that, just off bat, that it's like 2%, is the least. So, but if there's agents out there that do it for less, they're probably going to give you less than what a normal agent would give you. You pay for the work that you put in. You don't want an agent, especially with a big asset like selling your home. You don't want an agent that's going to lowball themselves and only give you half the work. Why wouldn't you want to pay them more commission where this agent is there for me? This agent represents me and does the most anything I need if I'm at work and there's people coming into their home, like you want them to represent you.
Okay, so the something that does concern my friend Henry, who's a real estate agent in New Jersey,
Uh-huh.
is are NFTs and AI. Do you think that in the future, because everything will be on an NFT, everything on the blockchain, like the deed of the house or whatever, and AI outfitting people with their absolute best needs, do you think that maybe real estate agents in the next 10 years might become a thing of the past?
I don't think so, personally. Everybody needs a home. Like everybody. You're born to know that like eventually you're gonna own your own home. May it not be now, it may be in 10 years. I have clients that like are not ready to buy and they're ready to buy in 5 years. Well, I'm still here. Like I work for you. We'll always still be in contact. We have that initial like conversation where we like even family, friends, like my friend just graduated, Ruthie that she's not ready to buy for another 2 more years, but I'm still here in 2 years, you know? So no, I don't believe that. Some other people will, but my thoughts are no.
Okay, so there's no, so artificial intelligence, you're not worried about in this sector because you think that everyone will need that salesperson at the end of the day, whether it's buying a car, whether it's buying a house or insurance.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Uh,
That's not my scare right now, but hey,
do,
every day is changing. There's so much unpredictable things that happen in this world, and just COVID stands for one of them. No. So who knows with this world?
when you get a lot of these sales, is there a separate division that handles insurance? Is there people that be like, okay, now for your homeowner's insurance, now for flood insurance, hurricane insurance?
Yes.
Is that something that you got? Is that something that you cover, or is that something that you have
No,
special?
I always refer out, because it's not my area of expertise, you know what I mean? So, but I know you need your homeowner's insurance. So we have companies that my Century 21 works with. Oh, it's this way. It's the opposite on the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Century 21 works with that we refer you to somebody that my company has used for over 40 years. And also, and I tell my buyers, like, let's say they're going to buy the home, whoever you feel, that you're comfortable with. So, and then if they don't like the quote, like I had somebody from I had my buyer from Calverton, his homeowner's insurance was crazy from the number of the friend that he got. And he called 5 different places and he picked out which one he liked. So
Cool.
they're all different quotes.
So would you say it's probably safe to say that this is the most amount of money that you've been making at any job?
Yes, I will definitely say that. But I have
Okay.
to tell you, it's a lot more work, So
Yeah.
it is a lot of work. Everybody thinks real estate's 1, 2, 3, they buy the house. No, you can be in contract for 3 months and your deal die,
Oh my
I've had
God.
some crazy stories. Yeah. I had squatters move into the home the day before closing. Now we can't close. Now the deal that was 3 months of buying has turned into 7 months. So
Oh man.
yes, and it's hard, and people just think, like, especially coming to the real estate world, and that people want to be agents. It's a rough, like I tell you, and you go through every deal has their own story. That's how I always say to everybody, like, that house has its own story behind it, their own memories between the seller, this, that, the person that lives there before, how they got the home, unless you're buying a new build, and you're building your own memories. But every house has a story.
Yeah. So speaking of that, you said you started mostly in Lindenhurst, which is really close to Amityville. I think you might know what I'm about to ask. The Amityville horror house that tends to sell every couple of years because the owners keep living in there and they decide they don't want it anymore. What are the real estate stories about that and other particular haunted houses?
I have to say, I haven't heard any. Like,
Really?
but it's not that I don't care to ask. I just, yeah, I haven't asked to even really like talk about it. It's probably discussed in my office. They probably do have a million stories. My broker probably could tell us a million, but I don't personally have any stories on them. Like, I don't. I never went to ask. I don't know.
So all the properties you've had, there have been no horrible crimes committed in them, like the Amityville horror.
No, and it's definitely not advertised either. So it's unless you're really talking to the seller, like, no. And I haven't had any homes with death in them either that I'm aware of. So, which is great to know too. But who knows? Honestly, they say like there's a big percentage of like death in a home, whether it's you that you're just buying it now, or the person that bought it 10 years ago, or the person before that. So, there probably is. They say majority of homes do have at least one death in them,
Yeah.
or coming. There'll be a death.
Yeah. I live alone.
I
The
know.
only
Let's
dash it
double
is going to
look. What's
be
going on around
finding
here?
me. There is a. So do you sell for like people that are looking to rent also? They're like, hey, I'm just looking
Yes.
to rent out. Oh, you do?
I
All
do.
right.
Yes, I do deal with rentals. There is a lot of agents that don't. I do it, of course, because why not? Like I was a renter, so I know what it's like. You know what I mean? So I try to help as much as I can. But I'm going to tell you, the rental market right now is hard, and the prices are high, the highest I've ever seen. Okay, I've been renting since I'm 18, and I'm like, yeah, I had a 1-bedroom studio for $600. You cannot find that. It is
Those were the days.
like And I was paying a lot back then. People were like, "You're paying $650." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like a 2-room studio." Like, yeah,
Oh, two
now
room. Damn.
the prices are up there.
What's the
It's
average for
hard.
1 bedroom now? Because I think I
Huh?
got a pretty good deal. I'm at 1,500 a month right now. It's a 1 bedroom.
Oh,
What is?
you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Stay there as much as and as long as you can. Just right now, it's just rentals. The prices are so high. I have another client that's looking for something for $2,000 a month, a 2 bedroom, and it's extremely hard to find. You know,
So the 1 bedrooms, what do they typically go for? The 1 bedrooms like 2 grand?
I just rented out a 1 bedroom. It was 1650. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, which is but plus utilities. You know, I don't know if yours are included.
Oh
So
no, oh yeah, mine are included.
yes, see, so it's a big difference. So you're talking about now 1,800, for a 1 bedroom.
The reason why I have it pretty much so low is because the last year when I came here, the guy was really nervous about renting because he hadn't rented in like 20 years because everything that happened in the 80s and 90s for him was just one bad renter after another. One destroyed his pool. There was a bunch of drugs in here at one point. There was like, yeah, like one of his tenants was like beating like his girlfriend. The cops were here, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do it anymore. Not doing it anymore." So eventually, his taxes went up, and he's like, "Okay, I need to rent." And he's just like, "I'm really trusting you here." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm chill. I don't do much. I'm just got a little whiskey every now and then, but I'm pretty relaxed." And he said, "Okay." And he's told me, he's like, "You're like the best tenant I ever had. You can stay here as long as you want." Like, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um,
And you want that bond because he lives there too?
yeah, he's upstairs.
Oh, see, so you want that bond with your landlord all the way, like
Yeah,
because
he's
there's people that don't get along, and you're like, oh, and I've had them myself because I was a tenant too. I know what it's like. Like the people upstairs and me just don't match. It's my time to go. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, he's made appearance because the oil burner, like the burner room,
Uh-huh.
is like right over there. And so he comes in every now and then. So I'll be streaming, and people are like, "Oh my god, first appearance of landlord! Oh my god, tell him I said." So people really like unexpected things.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so what about buying thing? Have you had any experience with people buying houses or at least partially paying for them in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin?
I have not, but my partner has. So he's definitely told me that he had somebody that was wanted to buy it with Bitcoin when Bitcoin was very high. So yeah, and I
So
don't know how it ended. I should have followed up with him and asked him how it ended up coming about. But definitely, my partner told me about that one.
okay, good.
Yeah.
So there was I guess in 2016, I heard stories because I was like in Kuwait, so I wasn't here, but I heard stories that people were selling homes based on the fact that how close they were to like a Pokemon Go stock or like a Pokemon Go like battle raid. Uh, do people have any stories about that you work with, or is any of that still viable?
I haven't spoke about that, but I have heard of like the hot spots of where they were, right? Um, yeah, I personally I was with it at one point too when it was really hot, so I'm a fan of it, but no, I haven't, and I don't think that's like a topic of conversation when I talk to the seller, like, hey, is there a hot spot around here? But that would be pretty funny though. I should actually like, I know we could follow up and be like, yeah, I tried it, and ask them if there was one around.
So what's the weirdest reason you've ever had somebody buy a home for? Like, what's the most absolutely asinine reason that somebody's like, yeah, I'll buy it because of this reason? It's like, okay, whatever.
Um, I did have a client once tell me, which they didn't end up buying, but I did have a buyer once tell me that they needed the doggy door to let their dog out. And we know from Long Island, that's very hard to find. Back then, it probably would have been more like normal, but out here, the doors at Home Depot don't really, if it's been updated, the house,
Yeah.
don't have them anymore, so it was hard. But she was definitely a dog lover, so
And you could always just put one in, though. You could always just kind of drill
yeah,
that and build that yourself. So I don't. I don't know.
and she needed it. So yeah, she ended
Okay.
up taking a break, so she's not buying right now. But yeah,
All right. That's interesting. So with you said this is kind of some of the most money that you're making right now. What are some investments that you're putting into? Are you investing into crypto yourself? Are you going into NFTs, doing stocks? What do you?
Okay. When it was high, I had bought Bitcoin myself. I didn't buy Bitcoin. I bought Ethereum, a couple of them. Back when COVID first shut down, my brother was on the couch. He was like, buy this, buy this. But I was like, what is this? Like, I don't even know what it is. He was like, buy it, buy it. And I wish I would have. My investments are small, about $3,000, but it was doubled to 7,000. So, and I haven't invested lately because of the way it is right now. I'm trying to get to what I had. There was one that I had bought, that was extremely low, and I bought it for extremely low. I don't even remember the name. Hold on. He's the one who told me to buy this, buy that. And I don't really follow him up on it. Yeah, wow.
Well, it's good that you can set it and forget it. That because a lot of people, they'll buy it and then they see it going down and then they sell for losses, which is absolutely bananas. I don't know why people do that.
I was on the Shiba. I got on the Shiba wave. I invested about $1,000 into Shiba. Mine right now, guys, hold on, is $162 out of 1,000. So I have taken losses too. I feel like it's like a gamble, really. Cardano, I can't even tell you how much. I invested about $1,000, and I'm at like 200. So I've taken a lot of losses too on top of it. I can't imagine the Bitcoin people. You know, my Bitcoins, it was actually at, I think I had about, I invested 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 1,500 into Bitcoin. I'm at 500. So I've taken a lot of losses.
So I don't know. Do you want to hear a story that might make you sick to your stomach?
Yeah, tell me.
There's a coin called OMI, which I advocate for everybody to buy because it's the only crypto that's associated with Disney right now. Disney sells their NFTs on this app called veve, and every time you buy some of their stuff, OMI gets it's deflationary. It's going to start burning it. And I, like every investment that I did, whether it was high risk lending or Pokemon cards or Tesla, I would take a little bit of Lucy and I would trip and I would play out all the different futures. I was like Dr. Strange looking at 14 million, 7 different futures. And I saw that this is a very disruptive company, the veve app, that utilizes this OMI token. So last year I sold everything, all my Tesla, all my stocks, all my Pokemon cards, and I put it all into this OMI coin. During the bull run that we had last year, it went up to like 1.1, 1.5 million. And then it obviously right now is worth less than 200,000 because everything went low. But I am still buying more just because, this is a bear market. This is one of the best times to buy, I think. Mm-hmm. So after hearing all that the crazy amount of losses, I am advocating all my friends and a lot of people, because again, I used to be that financial advisor for, high risk lending, to buy that. So I think if you have any extra money, you should buy the OMI token. It's really good. It's
definitely send me the link for it. I'll definitely check it out because I'm the type of person like invest. So if it's here, it's there. My biggest thing is invest in real estate, but I do Bitcoin and all that too, because you're like gambling basically. That's how I look at it. It's like either you're gonna go all the way up or you're gonna go all the way down. And I've been all the way up. Like I invested 3,000 at one point, and I said, "Why didn't I cash out at $7,000?" Because now I'm down. And I think you could say the same. Like you should have. You just don't know when. You don't know if it's gonna take off tomorrow. So definitely send it to me. I'll invest. Hey.
Get it. So I'm saying with people waiving inspections at an alarming rate lately, has there been a blowback from that? Any lawsuits?
No, and I tell my buyers do not waive an inspection. My biggest thing is you don't know what's wrong with this house. Why would you buy a house and not know what is exactly wrong? So I don't advise my buyers, and I've never had a buyer waive an inspection. No, I sold another house but we looked at it together, him and his father, everybody. But other than that, I've never had a buyer waive an inspection at all.
Cool.
And it's crazy that even agents would advise that, because how can you even say something like that? Like, I'm not living in the home, so who am I to tell you to waive an inspection? And who is the other person telling you to do that? Like, that's crazy. This market definitely waiving appraisals and stuff like that, yes, but not inspections. I heard that in other markets, like in other states, that's like their number one thing right now. We have an agent in Pennsylvania that said that they're waiving everything. They're waiving inspections. This, I was like, that's scary because you don't know what you're getting until you move in. Then basically.
Yeah, a lot of times what it is, people coming from New York, they're selling their $600,000 house, and they're getting a place in Florida for 350 or 400. They don't mind waiving something because in case they need a new roof, well, it's only an extra 10,000, and they want to buy. You know, they get that fear of missing out. They get a lot of FOMO.
Of course. Yeah.
So, yeah. There's. What is your best bagel spot on Long Island?
Bagel Bless. I am all about Bagel Bless right here in Bayshore. I actually just had a bagel yesterday. It's so funny that you guys say that. A salted bagel, so with cream cheese.
Yeah, there's Bagel Town in Levittown is pretty good.
I heard about that.
And there's this place near me. It's on 107 on the south side of Thames Turnpike, and it's right next to like I think like a dog grooming shop or something. It's across from Papalardo's Pizza, and they have like the best toasted buttered bagels. They just lather that up. You get a heart attack. It's so good. Love that.
You're like dreaming of it right now, right?
Oh, dude, I got really fat, and now I'm on this diet, and now I'm just like, life sucks when you can't. Like, all I had yesterday was like 15 eggs and salmon and protein shakes, and like that was it. Yeah, it's bad stuff.
I think we all need a bagel right now. Okay, yeah. I could take one. I'm dreaming of one.
Oh, same. Everybody's saying I like her. So,
thanks, Henry. Follow me on Instagram, guys.
Yeah, the links are up there. Henry Pies. The links are down below for the Instagram and the TikTok. Is Long Island where you're? I know you have kids and you have roots here. Are you staying here, or at some point you'd be like, I'm gonna go to Texas, I'm gonna go to Florida or wherever?
No, I'm a New Yorker all the way. The bagels, the pizza. I can't imagine. I was just talking to somebody close the other day. I'm like, I can't imagine because she moved to Florida and she's like, you don't understand. It's so hard to find a pizza that's good. I'm like, I can't imagine because it's so norm out here. Like you go to the local pizza shop. Yeah, it's not the same as the other one, but it's still good.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine. Even upstate, I heard their pizza's not as good as out here. I don't know personally because I haven't had their pizza out there, but I can't imagine living like that. Like I'm all about good food.
That same. What a lot of people are doing now is that I don't know how they could afford this, but they take water. They take like hundreds or thousands of gallons of water from New York and they ship it down to Florida and they use that water to make the pizza so it tastes the same. And apparently those pizza shops are doing really well. But yeah, I was in South Carolina like a year or two ago, and there's no delis. Like there's no place
right?
Can't get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like what is this? Is this
hell? I did that in Orlando, and my kids are like, "I want a sausage, egg, and cheese, mommy." I'm like, McDonald's, because there literally was nothing around. I'm like, how is this possible? I could never live like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like. Because making it at home, your eggs and your sausage and everything is not the same than the deli. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says; it does not taste the same.
You need that grease. You need that grease that hasn't been cooked off the grill from like 30 other sandwiches.
Yes.
They do it so well. I will be doing so I am going to go to Florida at some point, but I will be kind of snowbirding it. I will have I will probably spend a good 5 months in Florida, 7 months up here. I will most likely still just rent up here. I might just carry 2 rents for the apartment. I'm not sure. But when I am looking to buy, I'll totally use you if you are still selling at that point. It'll have to be
to help you, Randy. It's years of friendship right there.
Yeah. It'll have to be when the crypto goes up. Because right now, like I said, I have barely like 200,000. But that probably within the next couple of years, that crypto should go. I mean, right now you can get it for less than 1/5 of 1 penny for one of them. So I have like 132 million of them. So they're really, really cheap.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's so cheap. But when this goes to, I don't know, like 15 cents in a couple of years, and I have like $18 million, like, okay, well now it's, what's the difference? Like, would you get the more or same amount or less if people pay cash as opposed to getting a loan? Does some of your commissions come from the bank?
My commission's the same. So it's, the seller of course loves cash. Cash is golden in this market, especially, going over. You don't have to deal with the mortgage process of it, which takes longer. So hopefully that coin goes up and you'll be paying all the cash.
Pretty much at some point, yeah. When would you ever do other states? Would you ever go and be like, you know what, I can, have like a mini vacation condo somewhere in like Jersey or California and sell like these multi-million-dollar houses, or is like too much work?
I thought about Jersey. I won't lie. I've thought about getting my license in Jersey and in Florida because I have a lot of sellers that move from here and going to Florida. Florida's the hit right now. So yeah. Definitely, you just said the same thing. So definitely would like to get licensed in Florida, and definitely that would be great actually. But can't be in two places at once. So to juggle that, maybe when my kids get a little bit older,
yeah.
Definitely.
They would love that. Mom's out of town, party.
Yeah, no, or they'll be with me and want to go to Disney World every week. Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, dude, I would love, dude, Disney, Harry Potter World. Like, I can't wait.
Yes, they'll be like, we're going to Florida for Disney every week. This is great.
I went to this thing called Designer Con. It was a little convention for like collectibles and stuff, and I was a mini celebrity there. And I was pissed that I didn't stay the extra day so that I can go to Disney. I booked the flight without thinking. I didn't know that Anaheim was so close to Disney. I knew Disneyland was in Cali at somewhere, but it was like apparently right down the street. Messed up. Yeah. But that is where I would be looking to go in Florida. It would be in the Orlando, because I love Harry Potter World. I love Disney. Those are my things.
That's the place to be. I tell you, my uncle works there, and he lives the dream. He does. That's he always says he's in the happiest place on earth.
I have a couple people on the podcast every now and then, Steph Celentano and Justin Pierce, that go and you might have met Justin at one point. They used to work at Disney, both of them, and they have these like crazy stories of people like, yeah, dude, someone died one day, but they didn't really die because Disney has these contracts with Florida that say like nobody dies at Disney. They're alive until they leave Disney premises, and then they're pronounced dead. I was like, what? Yeah, it's insane.
Never heard that, and I definitely want to follow up with my uncle and ask to be like, is this true?
Yeah,
that is crazy. He's worked there for 35 years, 25 years.
Which parks like parks?
He works in the restaurant business. I don't exactly where he is now. I think he's towards Epcot, I think. Yeah. So definitely. Yeah,
there's a lot. So do you know about Club 33?
No, what is that?
I know it sounds dirty. It's like Rule 34. It's not at all. It's it's this like secret club that Disney has where there's like a 10-year waiting list, and you have to pay $33,000 to get in, and it gives you exclusive deals on like on not timeshares, on places like, hey, for 2 weeks out of the year you can get this deal on this hotel, you can get to these secret restaurants and these secret places, and it's like you still have to pay like $15,000 every single year on top of that. But like there's like such this waiting list because it's an exclusive club. Ask him about that as well. Ask about Club 33.
Wow, I'm going to, definitely.
Yeah. So we've been going for about an hour. Anything you want to say to the fam? Anything you want to say to the people watching or people that will watch in the future?
Thank you for listening. Contact me. If you're in New York, you're looking to buy, sell, definitely contact me. Follow me on Instagram. I follow back. Okay. So if you follow me, I'll follow you back. I'm definitely, make a connection. It's all about word of mouth, and it's all about, getting to know your followers too. Like, I'm not one of those people that'd be like, yeah, follow me, and then never follow you back. Definitely, I like everything too that I see. So you put something funny, I'm putting ha ha ha, and I'm literally laughing with you. Okay.
All right. So I'll ask you to stay on for about 30 seconds as I end this. Thank you guys. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Steph.